Hello and welcome to Tiffany Teach Tuesday. Today, I am talking about programs, government programs, and loan programs. So, I have been having a lot of heated conversations about housing supplements for the migrants. And this conversation comes about people saying that, oh, it's not fair that they're getting these housing vouchers because they don't give it to other people. They're getting all of these free handouts. They don't give it to other people. And being in the real estate industry, I know that that is not true. Now in Chicago, we are a refugee city. And I don't think that they should be taking housing away from individuals who are in park districts and programs away from individuals who are currently utilizing and residing there. But these individuals that are coming from the south of the equator, from Venezuela, it's very warm there. And they're here in Chicago in a cold climate where it's going to get real cold. We just getting a snippet right now of the cold that we're going to receive. And I think it's very inhumane for us not to give them shelter. Rather be a tent on some ground somewhere, but they need some place where they can actually stay warm. Because if not, they're not used to this climate. They're not going to make it. And then I get people say, hey, but we have homeless people here in Chicago who need housing too. And I agree with that. And I'm going to say, as a property manager, I have seen homeless people get programs where they pay all of their rent for them. Some of them don't want to stay there. Some people prefer living on the streets. I know that sounds really crazy, but it's true. A lot of them talk about how, because of their drug addictions, their mental illness, it's a lot of reasons some of them are homeless. And some of them prefer to be on the streets, just like some of the people from Venezuela has asked to go back home because they realize being in America is a hard struggle, especially on the streets of Chicago. So I say this to say everybody needs a place to stay. But when you stay someplace and you have programs that are assisting you to pay your rent, and they do exist, they're called Catholic Charity. During the pandemic, I got $10,000, $9,000, $7,500, $4,000 checks for African Americans, for others who lived in my properties that paid their rent. So when people tell me they didn't give them money during the pandemic, they're a lie. And there has been people who have gotten money from the pandemic and lying and saying that they didn't get it, and turn around and spent it on materialistic things and ended up homeless. They didn't even allow us to evict people for 2 years. And there was people who had jobs. And instead of them saving their money for when the courts decided to open back up, they chose to take their money and pay and play with it. Like, nobody owes you free housing. America is the only country, let's get this clear, my people, the only country you can be born poor and become the wealthiest person in the world. So it's up to you to take what they give you and the resources. So I'm gonna give you one of the programs. One of the programs is they have a program out here that they offer to the people where it's a scaling program. So when you first come in, the first 3 months to 6 months, they pay 100% of your rent. And then from 6 to 12 months, they pay 75%, and then 25%. The whole purpose of the program is to help you get on your feet so that you can provide for yourself. Unfortunately, our American people have become accustomed to handouts and are preferred to be lazy and receive a freebie than to get up and go to work. Then I hear people say, oh, we can't make it off $15 an hour. Prices are high. Inflation is high. No, you can't make it off $15 an hour if you're trying to live a lifestyle of somebody that makes $100 an hour. You have to live within your means. You can't afford things that your income does not allow you to have. Stop pointing blame on other people. We do things for likes and clicks on social media to accommodate this lifestyle because we want people to appear to people that we have things the way we have it. If you live your life based off what you can afford, you'll have a more than abundance. You can't expect somebody to keep constantly giving you handouts, but you're not doing anything to receive and move past receiving handouts. People be arguing with me. I'm saying you're mad because somebody begging more than you begging. Somebody told me I hate migrants. They on the street begging and getting on corners where we used to be at, getting freebies and handouts because you all keep giving them. Giving them. Let me tell you all, it is an underlay for the overlay. You all keep thinking they giving. They can't get green cards right now to work. But trust and believe me, when they're able to work, they're going to work in those jobs that you felt that you was too good to work will no longer be available to you, and you really gonna see what struggling looks like. We are now in a time where they're trying to build a society of the haves versus the have-nots. So you have to ask yourself, are you going to be on the team of the have, or are you going to be on the team of the have-nots? And the people that's not going to have is the people that's looking for somebody to get them something to live a basic life. You have to work. It says a man that does not work does not eat. You are not, nobody owes you free housing. The only thing I tell people you'll get in life and that you will guaranteed in life when you are born in this world is to die. Everything else you have to earn. And you put it in L in front of is learned behavior. This behavior of being somebody that owe you something. Back in the early 1900s when food stamps and Section 8 and all of that was brought about, people were working and they really didn't have not just the basic needs. I got tenants who on Section 8 living better than I live. But you telling me that they don't have programs to give American people the same supplements and benefits. That's not true. They get food stamps. We have food pantries. So stop making like the migrants getting something that you have not or will not or are not able to receive if you down on your luck. But they need housing, quality housing, just like any other American person that was or were not born here. So I say that to say there is free housing. Check out your Catholic Charities, the Chicago Hope, I think is the name of the program, Section 8. They do provide public assistance for people who need housing and not just for the migrants. And yes, the people are receiving them because I received the vouchers. And then let's get this clear. The people that's on the programs have the audacity to be picky. Oh, I can't stay there. Oh, they gonna make my kids share a bedroom? Let me help you understand. You can let your child live with you in a shelter on a cot, or they can share a bedroom. Because people that pay bills that out their own pocket, grateful for a clean place to stay in 4 walls that's within their budget. But so you American people have become entitled to think that the government is supposed to give you housing. They're not, because there's jobs available. And I'm going to tell you that right now because I have a job available in my office. I'm looking for an office assistant. I can't find no qualified candidates. I hired 2 people. One lady just did a no call, no show and didn't show up. The other lady told me she can't find adequate daycare. And I'm like, but they got the whole program for you that they pay for your daycare called what is it called? Child Care Initiative. So I'm confused. But there are also programs for home ownership, and I keep telling people, you all want to make sure your housing stays affordable. Buy yourself a home. If you want affordable housing, buy yourself a home. The interest rates are not high right now. They're going to become higher than what they are now because they are trying to minimize people owning homes because we don't have enough inventory for everybody to own. They prefer you to rent because guess what? I like renters because I make more money off renting than I do when I sell somebody a home because that's called residual income. However, As time progresses, rent is going to keep getting higher and higher. But when you buy a home, your home mortgage remains the same unless your taxes and insurance go up. But it's not significant and often as it is with the rents going up. Buy yourself a home, and you will ensure that you keep your mortgage payments will be less than what you're bringing in income. And by the time you retire, the only thing you have to pay is taxes and insurance, and you get your seniors exemptions. You'll be able to live well within your means and be able to afford your housing. But you turn 65, that social security check and the benefits that you have for 401k, if you didn't invest right, it's not going to be enough for you to continue to pay rent and live a substantial lifestyle that you have grown accustomed to by working every day. But if you own and you build, you can have things. And everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, but damn, you don't even get up and go to work. So how can you run a business when you can't even get up and go to work when somebody's paying you to show up? So I don't know what our people are looking for, but at the end of the day, they're not expecting you to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, but they're expecting you to at least try to put in some effort to be able to get the basic needs of yourself met. I'm just over it. Like, stop complaining. You spend more time complaining than doing. Those people I'm having conversations with, what have you done differently? We are in a season of giving. Everybody's supposed to be in a giving spirit. And we're mad because we're helping some people who don't really have it. And I promise you, they're going to outwork you. They're going to leave you all without the ability to have a job because they're going to take those jobs. That's what you should be concerning yourself with, not the free programs, because them programs that are available now are soon going to be cut. And when they're cut, you're going to have to go back to work. You already see it's happening, but you don't even want to work. Like, I don't understand. I tell people, you have a lazy spirit if you can lay around all day long and do nothing. To lay in the house, people get upset when I tell them to rent any of our properties, you have to have a job or be in school or doing something of substance. And they say, why is that so? I said, because when you're not getting up, going somewhere every day, you're laying around doing more wear and tear on the property than a person that's gone from their home all day. Your children to rent from us have to be in school. One lady got mad. What my child going to school got to do with me renting a place from you? All you should be focused on is collecting my rent. I said, first of all, let's start here. The state say you have to send your kids to school. So your child not going to school is an indicator to me that you're not the best parent. And that means if you're not the best parent, that means that your child will be in my place destroying it. And then you expect me to fix it with your nasty attitude because you think I owe you something, that I'm supposed to fix something that your child then tore down to the ground. Not going to happen. Secondly, I tell people, when you look at the news and you see someone being murdered or hurt, it be the kids. It be people under 24 years old that's acting a fool. Out here robbing people out here robbing and killing people to kick it, stealing cars to joyride. And then we want to talk about how we don't get enough help. Y'all not even raising y'all children. Like, who hurt somebody for some materialistic stuff? That's a life. Life have been lost for things that are materialistic. I saw this. I'm going to end on this note. I watched this, saw this social media post about owning possession properties. And the lady made a strong point. She said 125 years from now, the house, the clothes, the shoes, the cars, everything that you once desired to obtain will mean nothing because people won't even remember it. And my thing I leave for you is, what will you leave behind that people will be able to carry on in history to tell your story about something good that you did for people? Because all those material possessions will no longer matter 125 years from now. So we need to stop focusing on what we can actually obtain materialistically wise and focus on how can we be good people to people. And you need a place to stay. There's programs that can help you. If you need loans and help with loans, we have lenders that we work with that can help you get a home loan. I'm telling you, it's the best time to buy is now. Interest rates are going to get higher. Interest rates have been as high as 14%. The all-time low is what we saw during the pandemic, and we're not going to go back there. So I strongly recommend you, if you do want to buy a home, look for one now in this market. This is the best market to find it in, because it's not going to get better. Things are going to get even harder over time. So do what you can to work with what you have. Let me see. I have Holly Crap. Mr. West is back to put a post. Just a word of advice: you are doing good work. You should consider coming to stats in North Carolina, New York. It's not a place no one wants to live. Oh, so and remember this: everybody is willing to live somewhere. People live where they're comfortable at. They live in their comfort zone. They live in what's familiar to them. Just because you won't live there doesn't mean anyone else will. And I tell people, I live in the same community that I was born and raised in. I moved away to college and I came back and I live in my community and I do things in my community. I brought jobs back to my community. I help people in my community. It takes the community to build the village. And we need to work collectively together to help each other and not expect anybody else to do what we can do for ourselves in our own community. And again, thank you for always tuning in to Tiffany Teach Tuesday. And I will see you all on the third Tuesday of December, which is December the 19th. I will jump in and give you all some holiday encouraging words. And as usual, you can always call our office to help you, and we can help you with your real estate needs. Have a happy Thanksgiving and see you in December.